Okay, everybody, my personal top 15 martial arts movies of all times. Let's go. Okay, everybody, as stated just a second ago, these are my top 15 favorite martial arts movies of all times. Now, before anybody out there stumbles across this channel and has a hissy fit because this person didn't make the list, or that person didn't make the list, or this person ain't that great of a martial artist, why is this movie here? Again, this is not about who's the best, greatest martial artist of all times. This is not about what movie has the best martial arts scenes in it of all times. These are just my favorite 15 movies featuring martial arts. Everybody has an opinion, folks, so let's go. Okay, coming in at number 15, directed by Stanley Tong, 1995's Rumble in the Bronx. It was fun. It had Jackie Chan. What more do you need? I will always have fond memories of this motion picture. My son was very young at the time, and when we stumbled onto this flick, he fell in love with it. And we sat together and watched Rumble in the Bronx more times than I can ever humanly count. So it'll always hold a special place in my heart. Jackie was young enough to keep doing what he was doing and looking good at it. All his own stunts, the whole nine. Rumble in the Bronx, it had to make the list. Number 14, directed by Newt Arnold, 1988's Bloodsport, with the almighty Van Daminator himself. Okay, everybody, let's get to brass taxes. After your original rush of martial arts guys, you know what I'm talking about, Lee, Norris, all those kinds, you had the second wave, and that was really ushered in by Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm not saying this is his best motion picture. If you want to see that, go check out a movie called JCVD. I'm saying this is the motion picture that brought in a whole new wave of martial arts flicks, a whole new wave of, and I mean martial arts flicks where you really had star power in it, not some like underground crap or anything like that. I'm just talking about he brought in a whole new era of martial arts movies. The big ballet kicks, yes, some of it was goofy, yes, some of it was corny, but because of that, Bloodsport definitely deserves a spot on this list in history, just the way it goes. That's all I can say. Coming in at number 13, directed by Andrew Davis, 1988's Above the Law. Yeah, we can all kind of sit back and laugh at him by large degree now because he's kind of like a cartoon character and he's kind of a giant asshole. But when Steven Seagal first broke onto the scene, nobody had ever really seen Aikido. At least not like that. This is before YouTube. This is before the internet. This is before all that kind of crap. And your martial arts were basically kung fu, karate, taekwondo, in that ballpark. You didn't see anything as exotic and weird as Aikido was for at least mainstream motion pictures. It was different, it was eye-catchy, and to a lot of people, not saying me, but to a lot of people, for a brief period of time, Aikido was thought to be the greatest thing on planet Earth, and people are like, man, should we all be signing up for Aikido classes? Is what it was. He deserves his spot. That's all I can say. Coming in at number 12, directed by Steven Soderbergh, 2011's HAYWIRE. Really enjoyed this flick. I mean, I like the way they shot the scenes. I like the way Gina Carano did the scenes. I thought her in the fight with Fassbender was just amazing. They laid off the music in the fight scenes. They made the fight scenes brutal, straightforward, a little bit hardcore. And beyond that, the movie was great, and you had a great cast, really. So, doesn't get really talked about as much. It might be the shining light of her whole career other than the whole Star Wars thing she's involved in now. But HAYWIRE was worth a look. Definitely worth checking out. It should not be forgotten or passed over. Coming in at number 11, a lot of people forget that there was a lot of martial arts in here. They just think science fiction. But we are talking about the Wachowski brothers' 1999 classic, The Matrix. Come on, folks. Is what it is. Was what it was. Come on. Neo. Morpheus. The whole thing. It was great. It was stylistic. It was completely bizarre and unrealistic because it was a fight in a computer simulation in and of itself. So people were bouncing off walls and doing all the kind of goofy shit that you might only see in some of the Hong Kong hockey type of movies. You got it there. It was explained because you weren't in the real world. It was just entertaining, groundbreaking, and amazingly shot. So you gotta have The Matrix on this list. Coming in at number 10, directed by Robert Radler. 1989's The Best of the Best. Come on, man. Everybody loved this motion picture when it came out. I'm not saying everybody in it was an amazing martial artist, although you had to watch what the Reed brothers were throwing down, Philip and Simon, especially in that big epic battle at the end. Those men were born into the martial arts. They were phenomenal martial artists, and they put on a martial arts show. But as a movie, as a film, as a story, Best of the Best was just awesome. Eric Roberts and the rest of the crew delivering you a heartfelt little flick about people trying to realize their dreams and their potentials, thrown in there with some great scenes and some great little philosophy. And that should always count too. So, and at number 10, Best of the Best. Coming in at number 9, directed by Michael Schultz. 1985's The Last Dragon. Oh, come on, people. You cannot overlook this flick. It was undeniably fun. It was funny. It was entertaining. The scenes were good. Timac pulled off all his stuff. Who doesn't remember the Shogun? Come on. The Last Dragon, one of those motion pictures you gotta check out, you gotta see. Entertaining. At one time, it was both a nod and a salute to the past, a send up to the past, and it was everything rolled into one cute little flick. Last Dragon, love that movie. Okay, coming in at number 8, directed by James McTeague. 2009's Ninja Assassin. Oh my fucking Lord. I flipped my switch when I seen Ninja Assassin. I love this motion picture. I mean, from the training scenes, oh man, to the fight scenes with a pop star that they kind of turned into a martial artist. The kid over there named Rain, or at least that's what he goes by. And you had, of course, amazing Sho Kosugi, who is like the man in all those ninja flicks in the 80s, but now he's older. He's got a grisly voice. Razo, there was a time I look upon you with such pride. Oh my god, that was just the shit. The scenes were ridiculous and over the top, matching a lot of like what you would see in Asian movies, but because of the digital and the shooting style and all that kind of shit, it just looked better. Ninja Assassin was the bomb, was the shit. I love that movie. Maybe I should have made it higher. I don't know, but it is what it is. Okay, coming in at number 7. Directed by Steve Carver. 1983's Lone Wolf McQuaid. Okay, Chuck Norris is in it. Obviously. To me, still by far and away, his best motion picture. Octagon's damn close. You can throw them back and forth. But Lone Wolf McQuaid probably stands above from a look point of view, a production point of view, cast point of view, is as it goes. But what makes this motion picture is the fight scene at the end. By a guy who pops up on this list numerous times, even though he was not a great martial artist, David Carradine. We're talking about that scene at the end that was shot very Western style. You had the Western music. And every time in this motion picture, Carradine would give the look, and he would just go into his shit. It was phenomenal. That ending scene with Chuck in the hard, rock-solid karate stand, and David Carradine breaking out into his Shaolin fucking It was such a contrast. It was so entertaining. It kind of ripped off another motion picture that had something like it at the end, starring Chuck Norris, and it's going to come up later in this list. But that ending was phenomenal. It was shot beautifully. It was directed just amazingly. Lone Wolf McQuaid, if only for the last 15 minutes, deserves to be on this list. Okay, everybody, coming in at number 6. Directed by Richard Moore. 1978's Circle of Iron. Oh, man, Circle of Iron is one of those deep dive flicks that a lot of people don't give respect to, a lot of people don't even know about, but I absolutely love. Were the fight scenes amazing? Absolutely not. Most of them were hokey and shit. But I love the philosophy of the motion picture. I love how the core character played by Jeff Cooper runs into the David Carradine character, and he just teaches him all these philosophical little journey of life lessons and explains them to him without explaining to him, by just taking him through the experience. And then when they find the almighty book at the end, listen, you got Christopher Lee, you got Eli Wallach popping up in these things, you got Carradine himself. It's one of those motion pictures that will always be, to me, amazing. Not for the martial arts in it, but again, for the philosophy, and philosophy is a major part of the martial arts, and that's just the way it is, and I love this flick. Coming in at number 5. Directed by a guy who knows something about inspiring flicks, John Avildsen. 1985's The Karate Kid. Yo, come on, man. Cobra Kai. Justice for Johnny. We're talking Ralph Macchio. We're talking Pat Morita. We're talking The Crew. Folks, this motion picture was so huge at the time. So loved. It was so inspiring and fun. Again, Avildsen directed Rocky. Then he directs this. And it was one of those movies that gave you the same feeling. The underdog. The one with no chance. Rising up. Accomplishing the dream. Cute little love story in there at the same time. And I have to say, one of my all-time favorite memories of this motion picture will be a friend of mine who went and seen this, and she was so obsessed with it because she's seen it before I did, I wasn't seen it after, that all she kept doing in front of me all night was standing there telling me how much she loved this movie and doing her version of the crane kick, probably more times than Ralph Macchio did it in the goddamn motion picture. Just saying, just the way it was. The Karate Kid, legendary. In at number 4, directed by Dwight Little, 1992's Rapid Fire. Oh my God, starring the late, great Brandon Lee. This motion picture had it all, folks. This motion picture had it all. It was a fun story, action-packed. You got to see Brandon Lee doing his best martial arts that he ever did in any movie. Is his greatest movie? No, The Crow's his greatest movie. Was it fun to see him with Dolph in the other flick? Yeah, that was fun. But this motion picture was his tour de force in the martial arts field. And his fight at the end with Ao Leong, come the fuck on. That shit was off the hook. Loved it. Loved it. I can't tell you how much a shame it is that guy got cut down in his career so early. It just friggin' sucks, to say the least. But we'll always have those group of movies. He was phenomenal in those movies. And it's just the way it is. Rapid Fire. Okay, coming in at number 3. This is a little odd because it was actually a TV pilot. Semi-movie, call it what you want. Jerry Thorpe, 1972. Kung Fu. That's right, folks. That's right. With the Carradine himself. Oh, I love this motion picture. I'm telling you, this is one of the main things that got me into the martial arts when I was a kid. I loved the character of Kane. Grasshopper. Yes, the flashback scenes when he was at the temple with Master Po and the boys, telling these amazing philosophical stories. that were just inspiring and thought-provoking and amazing to listen to. Oh, that show, you will never have any idea how much that show meant to me as a kid, as an adult. I own all the DVDs of it and still watch it to this day. I'll quote it verbatim on and off. Kung Fu meant so much I cannot express. I love that motion picture, TV pilot. It means the world to me. And I don't think that I could imagine what it would have been like if I had never seen it. That kind of shit, folks. That kind of shit. Okay, coming in at number 2. Directed by Robert Klaus. 1973's Enter the Dragon with the Bruce Lee himself. Let's face it, folks. This motion picture probably launched more people into the martial arts than any single motion picture in history. The poster was on 1 million fucking bedroom walls, folks. Truth. Everybody wanted to be Bruce Lee. Everybody wanted to be like Bruce Lee. Everybody wanted to have those skills. It was just the way it was. It was just the way it was. Bruce Lee was the man, probably will always be the man, and that motion picture was the catalyst, the zeitgeist, whatever you want to call it. I can't even think of a word big enough, that launched everything martial arts in the 70s, exploitation fields and everything. It was the one that took it from one genre and made it another. Enter the Dragon, just the way it goes, just the way it'll always be. It's the top of Mount Rushmore, really, and it will always stay there, just the way it is. Coming in at number 1, directed by Bruce Lee himself, 1972's Way of the Dragon. I love this motion picture. To me, Bruce had to be at the top. He had to be at number 1 on this list. It's just the way it's going to go. And you could have only picked from 2 motion pictures, Way of the Dragon and Enter the Dragon. And for me, Way of the Dragon will always be number 1. Always be number 1. Simply because, A, he directed it, the story was more his, the whole 9 yards. And number 2, you will never get past the fight between him and Chuck Norris in the end. In the Coliseum. Epic. The style difference. The form difference. Everything about it was just spot on and perfect. And you had the 2 guys at that time who were the most famous martial artists in the world. You had Bruce Lee, the biggest martial arts star, and you had Chuck Norris, probably the biggest name in tournament guys on the planet at that point. So you're talking about 2 of the heavy hitters in 1 motion picture having a big battle at the end. I don't even know what to say. Way of the Dragon will always be the top of the heap for me. Okay, everybody, there it is. My list of my top 15. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you liked it. Leave a comment below letting me know what movies you liked, what movies meant something to you. If you want to leave them in your top 15 list, go for it. If you just want to throw out a couple, go right ahead. It'd be cool to talk about it. It'd be cool for me to see them and cool for me to enjoy them. Anyway, as always, once and again, take care, be good, stay out of trouble, help a friend, be kind to a stranger, and above all else, never take any bullshit from anybody. See y'all soon.